All right, all right, all right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just kind of reflect on what we talked about. Segment number one, talking about Monday Night Raw, talking about what's to expect, a little bit of review, potential storylines. Second segment, we talked about WWE, NXT, a little bit about Stand and Deliver. We talked about Ava unveiling the new WWE Women's NXT North American Championship, so that should be pretty awesome. The tournament they're going to have a lot of young women talent on the NXT level, so that's awesome. And number three, we talked about historical WWE champions and their title reigns, and just how it impacted WWE today. But yeah, honestly, as a wrestling fan, you get super excited about stuff like that. So honestly, I am super, super duper excited that we can talk about wrestling and stuff like that, and that just stuff like that just goes on and on and on. And wrestling is just it's a religion. It's kind of like it just gets you super excited. And I don't know. Let's move on. We have our wrestling news roundup today. So, just kind of cap it all off, just to something to kind of walk away with, is we have Seth Rollins as our first WWE roundup news. We have Seth Rollins expected to take a hiatus from WWE with a knee injury, according to Dave Meltzer. So he suffered a grade 2 tear of his MCL and also a torn meniscus in January. So that guy's probably going through a lot of pain right now. I would hate to be him, especially after having two grueling matches: WrestleMania Night 1, WrestleMania Night 2. And then, just the match with Drew McIntyre itself was like, I think maybe that's the reason why I felt so forced. Because when I watched it, I was like, man, I feel like I'm watching a Brock Lesnar match. Because whenever you see a Brock Lesnar match, like Brock Lesnar, he's, totally capable of wrestling, and he's bigger than me, so don't tell him that I'm talking trash. I'm just kidding, no. But uh, like every single Brock Lesnar match, it's suplex after suplex, and it doesn't really have any technical wrestling or any like choreograph. Like it doesn't really have anything like that. Whenever Brock Lesnar used to fight, it was like kind of like balls to the wall, complete and utter, like just brute force, fierce aggression. And I kind of saw that in this match, and it makes a lot of sense. Seth was hurt. They had to get the match done and over with, and they were able to do that. Next, I have Damian Priest signs a new contract with the WWE. And Damian Priest was super excited about his new contract. He said, I got a new contract, I got a new belt, and he has a new entrance music. I know, obviously I don't want to, jump off a cliff being like, oh, he got a new entrance music. I can see some drama happening between him and Finn Balor. But let's talk about it. What if there's a Judgment Day Civil War? It honestly would make a lot of sense, and it'd be pretty cool. Like, I've been saying this for days, that it's so awesome to see some Finn Balor in that singles competitor, in that competition. I would rather see him, fighting people like Randy Orton. It'd be interesting to see him fight Cody Rhodes instead of, fighting in the tag team division against like DIY, The Awesome Truth, or newly, SmackDown tag team champions, and I hate it, Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. So I don't know. I would like to see it like a little bit of like a little flail between these two. And the Judgment Day has been around for about 2.5 years. So maybe a breakup is right. Maybe it'd be good for both of these guys. Next, we have Roman Reigns post WWE WrestleMania 40. He finally, he opened up to the media. He took to X, and he posted himself walking on the treadmill that basically said, "Done. I'm done mourning for the championship. This is day one." Which means that Roman Reigns is probably going to make a comeback into the WWE, but obviously he's not going to right away. You can expect Roman Reigns probably being off of WWE television for probably the next, probably like 3 months, 3 to 4 months. Like, the guy needs to take a break. Like, he represented the brand for the longest, 1,316 days, man. That's got to stand for something. But Roman Reigns, as reported, he's not expected to make an appearance at Backlash or Clash at the Castle. So, as you know, I can imagine people buying those tickets and like finding out that Roman Reigns isn't going to come, and you're like, like, what the hell? They're like, like I know if I bought tickets and they're big arenas, they're absolutely behemoth arenas. I'd be kind of pissed. That's like going to like a, back in the late 2000s and going to like a Laker game and like Kobe's like, you know what, I'm gonna sit out today, and you're like, oh, what the like, it just sucks. But they still have a pretty good product without Roman. But Roman Reigns is just such an icon in WWE or professional wrestling right now that I can imagine, people getting a little salty. So it should be interesting. I mentioned this before. Our next headline, we have Julia has agreed to join the WWE. She has had a lot of success at Stardom, TNA, Ring of Honor. She was a New Japan Wrestling strong women's strong champion as well as the champion. So it's going to be interesting to see like what she brings to the WWE. I kind of mentioned before that she would make a great first ever WWE Women's North American NXT North American Championship, and it has been confirmed that she is going to start in NXT, and that's where she saw that's where publicity that's where they saw her in the crowd in the Stand and Deliver. So you got to expect that she's probably eyeing some of those talented women on the WWE NXT roster. All right, next news I have Matt Hardy officially is a free agent. He turned down his contract with AEW, and it just kind of brings to the point where, well, it kind of brings up speculation that do you think he's going to come back to the WWE? Like, don't get me wrong, like I love Matt Hardy, I love Jeff Hardy. Obviously, I'm an Attitude Era kind of guy, but I think right now Paul Levesque needs to focus on some of your young talent and just kind of making stars of their own. Like if this was a Vince McMahon thing, Vince McMahon is just like, oh, like people like him because the editor, bring him in. Bring him in, bring him in. We're gonna get viewers. We're gonna get viewers and stuff like that. And like that's not the case anymore. Like it's to the point where like, yeah, us old WWE fans, we like seeing the occasional like legends or the occasional old guys from the Attitude Era, the ruthless aggression era. But honestly, we kind of don't want to see that anymore. And I'm, totally speaking on my behalf, and I'm not trying to put words in anybody else's mouth. But as a wrestling fan, now you are starting to appreciate some of this young talent that's coming up, and you don't want to see people like Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, and to be quite honest, I'm not trying to hate, but part of me doesn't even want to kind of see Sheamus come back. Like, somebody kill me. Somebody kill me for just that's blasphemy. That's blasphemy. Tell me how you think in the tips and donations, the GSM, GSMC podcast.net. Tell me how you feel about me not wanting Sheamus back to the WWE. But no, in all seriousness, Matt Hardy, he paid his dues with the WWE, and I think I don't think they should bring him back. And our final story is the WWE draft has been confirmed. Triple H said on Logan Paul's podcast, Impulsive, that the WWE draft is coming back. And it's, usually the draft is a pretty big deal. I don't know if they're going to kind of like this year, they didn't really keep that strict Raw guys stay on Raw, SmackDown stay on Raw, only because Roman Reigns was the undisputed championship and he kind of held both titles. But I think they're kind of headed for the brand split, and I support it. I think it's going to be super awesome. I think it's going to make better matches for Survivor Series. And hey, you don't know who the hell is going to show up at the WWE draft. And there's been reports saying that Triple H he's not like all the other he's not like Vince McMahon, where he would just totally hate to bring somebody in that is an outsider to the WWF or WWE. And that's kind of exciting. That's super duper exciting. He's not afraid to break down that forbidden wall where you kind of have WWE and then you have AEW, Impact, Ring of Honor, New Japan, who constantly like they rotate guys. They rotate wrestlers and they're like, oh, you can fight. Yeah, sure. If you want to take a fight in New Japan, that's totally cool. But Obviously, you saw it in the Royal Rumble where you saw Jordan Grace come in and fight in the women's 2024 Royal Rumble. So for the WWE draft on April 26th is going to be SmackDown, and then on April 29th you're going to have Monday Night Raw. Like I said before, you have Ilya Dragunov and you also have Roxanne Perez. Both NXT stars have been confirmed. A lot of people have speculations that maybe Trick Williams is going to throw his name in the hat or Carmelo Hayes. But like I mentioned before in the podcast, I kind of think that they're going to have that, that trilogy, that match, back and forth. One of them wins the championship. The other one fights the other one for the championship. And I can kind of see that happening. Also, MJF has not been reported in AEW, not yet, or has signed a contract. So there's a lot of there's a lot of wrestling free agents right now that, you can kind of speculate like them having a chance to come back, like kind of like Matt Cardona, like, formerly known as, and not Alex Ryder. Oh my God, what was his name? Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder. Like we all know that Matt Cardona, like he's married to Chelsea Green, so obviously he's at the WWE events every single time he has extra time. And I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see when it comes to that kind of stuff. And then you also had Jordan Grace that she made it, like I said, she made an appearance at the Women's Royal Rumble in 2024. She also has stated online that she wants to have a match with Natalia. And Natalia, she expressed her gratitude on X, saying that if I want to, honestly, I kind of want to fight Jordan Grace. Like that would be pretty awesome to test my limits against her. And Jordan Grace responded, and she's like, "Hey, anytime you want to break down that fourth wall or anything you want to rip down," she used a forbidden door, which is WWE stars fighting anybody besides WWE stars. She said, "I'm willing to do it. So don't be shy. We can do this. We can probably tear the roof off this joint." And make for a pretty entertaining as hell WWE, or I don't even know if they would do it on WWE. Maybe on Impact. If it was on Impact Wrestling, that would be pretty cool. But ultimately, I don't think it's going to be. But hey, a guy can dream, I guess, right? So yeah, hope you guys liked my GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast. Just remember, um, to use that tips and donations link whenever I have a podcast going on. You can access it through the GSMCPodcast.net. Once again, thank you for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button for the show and leave a positive review. Leave a peace, love, and positivity, baby. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter/X, TikTok, or Instagram for more content and updates. Remember, if you're not, if I didn't hook you guys on wrestling quite just yet, we have Sam with baseball, we have Kenneth with football, we have TJ with sports, we have Jeremy. Just it goes on and on and on. The GSMC Podcasting Network, sports conglomerate. Be a part of it or regret, missing out on something that's truly, truly amazing, because this company is really, really amazing, guys. So, I think you guys will like it. I tuned into a couple of the podcasts before, and it's, very entertaining, very entertaining. If you want to get your sports scoop and you don't have the time to, sit your butt down and watch TV or watch, maybe a simulcast on YouTube, like you can also listen to it. Also, we have audio. So, but all in all, just be a part of it. Be a part of something cool. Thank you once again, and have a fun